I didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you lived in Milwaukee for how many years?
Dad moved up to Milwaukee, and he worked like a chief mechanic in the basement, and Archie worked up in the office. It's in the same building, and he told me about some stuff I couldn't believe. I mean, they had these big oxygen tanks. That's when I was born. I had pneumonia so bad, they had to have oxygen in this hospital.
Mm-hmm.
That was a must, and oxygen was expensive. Well, Dad worked there. He just grab up one of them big dudes and take it in there. And they had oxygen for months. And I had my own oxygen because I was in there. I didn't have to pay for it. And I had asthma real bad, and everything was wrong with me when I was a blue baby and everything like that. But finally made it. Helped on Dad's oxygen. I probably made it.
What did the tanks look like? I have a picture of your dad and Archie standing on top of tanks.
On
There
top
were
of a tank.
a bunch of tanks. They're like in a pile, and
Well, they're
there's
green tanks and they're oxygen tanks. It's that about this high.
yeah, they're big like
And
that.
they got a top on them about like that. Now, one of them fell off a truck there next to where they worked
Uh-huh.
and broke the neck off of it, and it took out across Lake Michigan like a torpedo. He said it skipped the water. It was going so fast. And when it got out there, it sunk.
It was like a rocket, eh?
Yeah. Oh, if it hit a ship, it went right through it. And if there was any fire in that ship, boom, there wouldn't been no ship. But he said that beat anything he ever seen. He skipped across a bunch of rocks and the driveway and all kinds of stuff, and then hit that lake out there and just kept right on going straight. Never did turn. He said it went plumb out of sight.
I was gonna say, do you remember? You don't remember Press working at the poorhouse? That's way before your time.
Where he worked where?
At the poorhouse or
The
the
poorhouse?
yeah.
Yeah, the poorhouse right over here. Uh,
Yeah.
they closed it down.
Yeah.
Now they're doing something else with it now.
But do you remember that? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember. I don't remember. I probably still in Milwaukee when he was over there.
Yeah, because it was in the 30s.
Yeah, yes, I was born in 34.
Yeah, he's probably either
And,
because John Ellison Freeman,
yeah,
he died in 35, and in his obituary he said Pressy is a superintendent of the poor whatever. Yeah.
Poor farm.
So you probably, like you
see,
said, you weren't even there.
34, and when we moved down here, I was either 6 or 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And when I moved down here, we moved over in my other grandpa, Hudson. He built the Hendricksville store.
Okay.
And he shut the store down. He went up on First Street in Bloomington and had a house with a drive-in basement. And we went in there and lived in there until we bought a house out on, well, you come out of town, I can't tell you where that used to be a bridge in there. But we bought a house as you coming out of town on this west side, and we lived there for a long time. I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 years. I went to Waterworks School. Now it's closed down. They made an apartment building out of it, and there was a big wooden bridge. You had to come in and go across the tracks and turn. And there was a store over there that my uncle, my great uncle on my grandpa's other side, had a store over there and a big trailer court in back of it. But he had run that store, and it was in the family. But I'd go over and play on that big old bridge, and mom and dad never did know what I'd done over there. I was by myself. I wasn't very old, probably about 6. I would get on that bridge and get down, and when the train come through, I'd jump out on top of the train. The car that's got the walk thing. They weren't going very fast. They're going into town. See, I'd jump on that and ride it down to. There was a big sand pile down there, a big sand pile, big as a house, and they used that sand for around them tracks. Well, when I got down to that sand, I'd jump off on that sand pile, walk back to the house. But I fell on the cinders one day
Oh, God.
and cut cut my kneecap all to pieces. I come in bleeding all over, and Mom took me in there and wanted me to get in the tub. And like she didn't know what she was doing, she's all nervous. She brung scalding water in there instead of diluting it off the stove, and poured it on me and made a big blister on my same knee that I had tore up. And I had to go to the doctor and have that
Lancers.
pulled out. You know, the stuff that got in that blister. Oh, what a time we had. That's when my sisters were so little. I don't even remember them.
Are they that much younger than you?
Well, one of them, Janice, she's about, what is she, about 3 years younger than me?
She is 10 years younger than you.
10 years, okay.
Yeah.
See, Mom lost her first baby.
And that was 10 years before she had you.
Yeah, and then there's another 10, I guess, Janice.
And
But I remember there, the first house out of Milwaukee. We lived there, and this old cow would come in this barn, and we'd go out there and get in the loft of that. This is good. The loft of where the cow's underneath us. And you had horns stuck straight up, and we get these big hedge balls. You know, remember the big old green hedge balls that looked like they was on trees, looked like walnut trees. Hedge apples, them big green looking things. We take them and drop them and stick them on that cow's horns, and he'd go nuts. He'd go out there trying to shake them off, and they wouldn't come off. He's stuck on there. But I remember, that's one thing I remember. And then we had a chicken, broke its leg, and Dad took tape and taped that chicken leg back, and it got well. It got well, and it was walking around. That was her pet chicken. I just wouldn't believe the stuff I remember.